Hello friends, Heidi here from Rain Country. God is good all the time. And today I want to show you our setup currently for our rocket stove or our mini outdoor kitchen. And this is a temporary setup, but I'll take you through what Patrick has done here. So he took this table and originally he had the legs up, but it was making it just a little bit too tall for him. So he simply folded the legs underneath this work table. And I think it's a workhorse. And then, you know, he made this, he took this diamond plate piece and this other piece here to make a shield, to make it nice and safe from, you know, to not burn my blueberries and not keep, you know, have sparks flying off this way, and also to keep the wind from blowing through and causing issues there. And this made it at a really good height for me right here. Just the perfect height for cooking. Whereas last year I had it sitting down on top of my burner that's back there. That, I don't know if you can see it, but that's what I do my canning on, right back in there, and that's a propane. And so I just set a piece of metal across there last year and set it on there, and it was okay. I cooked on it, but this just makes it a little bit higher and just the right height for me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to be cooking my, I made some beef vegetable fritters, and you can find a video to those right up here. And I'm going to be cooking those on here today. And oh, and right here is a cast iron griddle that we bought at our local store for the sole purpose of using like this. So, because with the rocket stove as it is, the and those metal pieces there, Patrick also fabricated to make this stable. And you'll see that in another video. It was, you could only put one pan on there just like that. But with this, we can put a couple of different pans or a coffee pot in a pan. And then this chunk of metal here, this heavy piece of steel, he doesn't even know what it was for, but he came across it and he saved it for years. Well, it's perfect as a trivet for setting, like once your coffee's all done and heated up, you can set it up here, or you have a pan or something that's, like the other day I made biscuits and gravy. The gravy was done and I still had the finished baking the biscuits on here. And so I put the gravy up on top of this to keep it warm, and it's just the perfect size for that. What I have here is my updated version of my frugal fire starters, and I'm not sure which video will come out first. If I have this one out already, then I will link to it above there. Otherwise, it might come out after this one. So anyway, I'm going to be starting my fire using this. Bird just flew through there. That's weird. A little windy, so it keeps blowing my flame out. Even with that shroud here, it's the wind's coming in from this way. Okay, so I'm just going to put a couple little sticks on here. Get that burning. It's a little bit of a balancing act here. That should get burning, and then I'll let that take off. I'll stoke it some more, and then I'll be putting the dinner on, and I'll show you how I cook it. So my fire's going decently. I'm still just waiting for everything to get good and hot. You can hear the coconut oil starting to sizzle a little bit because there was a little water in the pan. And so I'm just waiting for that to get good and hot, and then I'm gonna start cooking those fritters. What I'm burning here is just scraps from Patrick's shop. So a rocket stove is a highly efficient cooking source. The only drawback to a rocket stove is you have to keep feeding it. But you can burn pine cones or other tree cones. You can burn garden waste, let's say stalks from whatever, old dried out stalks. I've done that before. You can use charcoal briquettes in there if you want. There's so many different things you can use. And this is a StoveTech rocket stove. We bought it a few years ago and I just love it. This is the double door one, and it's the one I recommend because once your fire gets, first you can have the vent, and then once your fire gets going, like it's going right now, I can just go ahead and shut it down. So you can find the link to this in the description box below. It'll be the first link you see, and made right here in the U.S. in Oregon. And anyway, it's been a great rocket stove. I've done all kinds of things on it. And I wanted to show you another thing. I forgot. It's right down there. Patrick set that up like an extra little table to set pots and pans, whatever, when I got a lot going on out here. Now, this, like I said, is just a temporary setup for now. Eventually, what we want to do is get like some stainless steel things. So we're going to be watching for those at garage sales, at the dump, or whatever. And some kind of cabinets, some kind of table, whatever that we can set up and have a more permanent setup. Well, kind of permanent. I prefer to have something that I can move around and not have it set in one solid place. But I'm going to go get those fritters and start cooking them. Again, these are beef vegetable fritters. Kind of a recipe I sort of made up on my own. And I like to fry them in coconut oil, which is the healthiest way, the healthiest thing to fry it in. And I got a lot of coconut oil in there, but I always tend to use up a lot and have to keep adding. So at least I won't have to keep adding. So I'm gonna cook these up and get them good and brown, and you can see how well that works. All right, you can see here I already have a few fritters cooked up. I'll put a few more in the pan, nice and hot. And I want to show you something else, and that is this fire poker, this little small thing. Patrick fabricated this whole thing by himself just for the purpose of using in the rocket stove. It's just the right size. It's not too long, it's not too fat, it's just the perfect size for using with the rocket stove. So it's pretty cool. Alright, so I'm getting the last of these fritters out of the pan. Again, this is coconut oil I'm cooking in. And look at that. They look tasty. So that's how I cook fritters, at least on the rocket stove. So it's been a really great setup, and take a look at that if you don't have a rocket stove yet. Or I know some people will build a more permanent structure, but if you're wanting something that's portable like this, Patrick took fishing one day and with his dad and some friends, and they cooked a big pot of chili on it. And it's funny because his friends, well, they were all laughing because they never seen anything like it, and they were like, that's never gonna cook that big pot of chili. Oh yeah, it did in no time flat, because the efficiency of using the rocket stove and whatever just you can find sitting around, just sticks and brush and whatever, and it works great. So Stovetech rocket stove is what I have, and check that link out in the description box. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Take care, and God bless.